The best athletes in the world are some of the most adaptable people. Think about it. It's like whatever challenge is thrown at them, whatever kind of adversity they go through, they're able to roll right through it. And it's almost like it doesn't even faze them. But the problem is this, most athletes, maybe like yourself, you're not really taught how to be resilient. You're not really taught how to be adaptable like that. And as a result of that, you suffer in performances. You leave results on the table. Today, we're gonna put a stop to that. In today's video, in the first of 2 series, we're gonna teach you the 5 things that you need to know in order to build your resilience. Matt Calderoni here, co-founder of Molliteum, where since 2015, we've helped just over 5,300 athletes discover and reach their true potential by building their resilience. And the reason we started this channel is because when I was an athlete, I struggled with the side of performance, so I want to make sure that you don't. Now, please, before we continue, please support this channel if you've gotten any value from us before. Like, subscribe, click the notification bell, share it. That way we can keep bringing you more free content. So first off, a quick reminder, like I said before, this is a 2-part video, meaning this is part 1. Part 2 will be coming out next week. The reason we wanted to do that is because we figured we can give you all 10 things at once, but what we know is from working with the people we do, from working with the athletes we do, you need to take this stuff in bite-sized chunks. There's gonna be a lot of stuff that we're gonna be covering, especially in today's video and over the course of the 2 videos. So we wanna make sure that you have the time to apply this stuff and you're not just trying to gain a bunch of skills without actually using them. Does that make sense? So in today's video, really make sure that you have some kind of pen, paper, something to write down, something to record this, learn from it, because I'm telling you right now, these things here will allow you to build your resilience. So first off, what is resilience? Resilience is having the ability to adapt to extreme situations. It's being able to return to a baseline level or a normal level so that you're able to continue pushing forwards. Now, there are 3 parts of resilience that you actually have to build if you want to build true resilience. And this is where a lot of people get it wrong because we often isolate resilience, right? We often say it's just a mental thing or it's just a physical thing or it's a social, when in reality, it's all 3. Resilience has 3 components to it. There's a mental component, which is what we'll be talking about. Mental resilience is simply having the ability to control your emotions during tough times and keep yourself focused. There's physical resilience, or building your body so that you can adapt to situations and that it can handle the environment at hand. And then the last part is social resilience, or having that ability to be able, with the mental and physical side, to handle the environment in front of you. So, like you can see right there, all 3 of these things have a role within each other. And if you're truly talking about building yourself as a resilient individual, not just the mental, physical, or social, you have to combine all 3 of these things together. What do I mean by that? Let me give you a great example. Pretend you're going into a new team and you knew that you had the skills at a lower level to dominate that level. Well, once you get to that new environment or that social side, you now have to build next level skills and level up those skills so you can be better there. That means that you're gonna have to put in the mental work. That means you're gonna have to put in the physical work so that way you can handle the social work. Does that make sense? So looking at it, what you have to realize is if we're going to truly build this resilience, not just some, easy sayings or mindset shifts or whatever, forget about that. I mean real resilience. You have to consider all 3, which is what we're gonna be talking about in today's video. Now, I know this can seem like a lot, but I'm telling you, it's very simple to do and combine them together. You just have to look at them as this whole big one thing. So when we break it down, we say there's actually 4 quadrants of resilience you can build in order to make sure that you're building yourself as a resilient individual. And the best part is about this, they actually cover all 3 areas of that social, mental, and physical resilience, so you don't have to worry about it. You just need to pay attention to these 4 things. Let's talk about it. The first, and like you can see here on this pyramid at the bottom, it's the base of everything for resilience. You have to build a commitment. So what is commitment? Commitment is being able to say, I'm going to lock into this task at hand no matter what, and I'm going to find a way or make one until I get it. This is the key with resilient individuals that a lot of people forget. If you're gonna be resilient, that means you have to commit to something, right? That means you're adapting to something. That means you have a vision in mind and you're saying, no matter what, until I get there, I'm gonna adapt. The problem is, not enough people do. Not enough people have that commitment. A lot of athletes that we talk to don't even know what they want really. They just kind of have this sporadic direction. And as a result of that, they never end up getting what they want from this. So the first thing you need to build is a commitment. Now the second part, like you can see here on this pyramid, is building competence. Now this is where we're gonna start to see that mix between the physical side and the mental side. Just think of it like this. Competence is seeing that you have the skills to be able to handle the task at hand. If we're talking about building a resilient individual, when the adversity strikes, you need to know you have those skills. But skill building, it's not just mental, nor is it just physical. You can have all the physical skills, but if you're not confident in those skills, they're never gonna work. And it's the same way, you could believe in those skills, but without having the confidence in knowing you can apply them and actually utilize them or know how to use them physically, you're never gonna be able to do it. So with that, you have to be able to both build that confidence and build that certainty, which requires both a physical and mental side to doing this. The next part, like you can see here on the pyramid, once you've built your commitment and your confidence, you have to build your focus. Now focus, the majority of this is, I would say, the mental side and also the social side. The mental side being that you're able to control your emotions, but the social side is understanding what in that environment can trigger you or what in that environment, in short, that we say is uncontrollable. If you're able to shut out the noise and focus on the task at hand while controlling your emotions, you won't have a problem adapting to adversity. Now, the final part that you can see here on the pyramid, like you can see at the tip, it's toughness. And the toughness part is kind of a result of having that commitment in place, knowing you have the skills, knowing what to focus on, then you're just adaptable now. Where it's like, okay, cool. Think of the first 3 levels like you're arming yourself with the right kind of weapons. The last part here, right at the top, that's being able to make sure that you can now adapt in the situation. Toughness is simply adaptability. So as a result of having those first 3 levels, you become adaptable or you become tough by being able to push yourself and making sure that you have an aggressiveness towards your goals so that you can keep pushing no matter what. Now here's the funny part about all of this. You can't have one without the other, which is why we're breaking this down, like I said, into a 2-part video. So for today's video, we're gonna cover everything you need for commitment. We're gonna touch a little bit on competence, and then we're gonna continue on next week. But we built this video, we constructed this training session with the idea that if you work these first 5 things right now, you'll be able to start getting immediate results. Work all 10 of them together after next week, you'll get fantastic results, but it's a stacking process. So here are the first 5 things that you need to do in order to build your resilience. Number 1, start with a vision of who you want to be and what you want to accomplish. Here's the trick to all of this. Success is attracted, not chased. What do I mean by that? A lot of times we see people say, well, I want to make it to the pro level of whatever sport or whatever it might be. And the problem is then they start chasing that instead of attracting it. Attracting it means that you're building the skills or becoming the person who is a pro athlete. You're becoming a pro. A lot of the times though, people get into this mindset where they almost have to start impressing to get to that level, right? Almost like they start to chase this pro thing, something that I actually used to do, and it never ended up working out. Instead of understanding that this is about becoming somebody. So to start with a commitment, you have to first clearly define to yourself, who do you really want to be? And if you can start seeing everything as just building this person, so I want to be an NBA player, I want to be an NHL player, I want to be an NFL player, whatever it is, I want to be a D1 athlete, and you really start to see things as just building skills from this point forward, you're going to have a much easier time at doing this, because this is where you need to understand, once you choose this vision, that's all you need to focus on. And I know it's like, well, Matt, that's really big picture, but here's the truth. You need to have a big picture strategy and a day-to-day focus. What does that mean? That means you need to understand where you want to go and say, I'm taking a step towards that today by making the right choices based on that identity and by making sure I'm building the skills to become that individual. So if I'm somebody going through this, I would look at it and say, okay, if I want to be an NBA player, am I eating food based on what an NBA player would? Am I sleeping the way an NBA player would? Am I training the way an NBA player would? Am I recovering like one? So you start to make those decisions. Then I would look at it and say, okay, am I working on a skill that's going to allow me to better my game so I can really be good at the level I'm at right now so I can take another step towards that? That's how this all works, right? So again, big picture strategy with a day-to-day focus. You have to have that vision because resilient people pick that vision, they decide, and they stick to it no matter what. And this is what some of the most successful athletes that we work with are doing. They're just looking at it and saying, I don't care what happens, I'm gonna find a way or make one until I get there. And lo and behold, they do. Whereas the majority would look at it and say, well, maybe I wanna get there, but if it doesn't work, I mean, it's not really my fault. Forget that. Throw it out, focus on the one thing you want, and go at it. And just commit to yourself no matter what, you're gonna become this individual. Number 2, you need to have a purpose behind this vision. A lot of athletes get this wrong because they have that nice North Star of where they wanna go, right? It's like, I wanna become that pro athlete or that D1 athlete, or I want that scholarship, I wanna be a player who has a scholarship, whatever it is, but they don't put meaning behind it. Now, the vision is gonna carry you towards where you wanna go, but your purpose is what's gonna put some fuel into you, some good motivation into you. And if you don't have that purpose, if you don't know your reasons why you want to get there, if you don't have some emotional anchoring of how you want to feel, something that makes you feel something of why you want to get there, you're never going to do it. So most of our pro athletes will take the time to define what exactly that purpose is. Look, a lot of them have a purpose of helping their family out if they came from tough backgrounds. A lot of them will have a purpose of carrying the last name forward, creating legacy. But there's a purpose there. There's a purpose that kicks them in the butt that basically says, I know that it's gonna be tough, and I know there's gonna be days that I don't wanna do this, but this is the thing that keeps me going. This is the thing that drives me forward, and this is why I do what I do. This is why I'm willing to suffer right now so I can get the long-term results. And that's what you have to do. If you haven't yet defined your purpose, take some time and ask yourself, why do I really want this? What is it for me? Why do I feel like I have to get this? Why is this my only option? What is it? And once you put yourself into that state, once you put yourself into that mentality and really take the time to ask yourself why, you're gonna find that result. It could be because you wanna be somebody who's significant. It could be because you wanna help a community. It could be because you wanna help your family, regardless. It could be for yourself. But my point is, you need to have those strong enough reasons why. Number 3, you gotta build discipline. Now that you have your vision and you have your purpose down, you've gotta understand how to build some discipline. Here's how simple discipline is. Let's not overcomplicate things. Discipline comes from thinking in terms of consequences. What does that mean? Well, human behavior, we are driven by doing things to avoid pain and gain pleasure. So let's use an example, procrastination. If you're a procrastinator, it's because in the moment, you don't want to do the work. That's avoiding pain. So what do you do to avoid that pain? You push it off to a later date. That allows you to gain pleasure. Then you get to the day of the deadline. It's a couple hours before, and you start to see, oh my gosh, I push this off, I've got this deadline, getting in trouble is the pain now. So to avoid that pain, I'm gonna work my butt off, get it done. It might not be the best work, but I'm gonna do it anyways, and that's gonna allow me to gain pleasure. That's how we think as human beings. That's how we reason with situations. Our brains like safety, so we do everything to avoid pain and gain pleasure. Now, here's the truth. On days that you don't feel like doing it, because the reality is your motivation sometimes won't actually work for you. It just won't. That's just human nature. You need to be able to stay disciplined on this because you can't go and perform and expect amazing results just based on when you're feeling good. There's gonna be days that you don't. So what do? You start to ask yourself, well, if I don't take action, how is this gonna cause me pain? The way we do it with our pro athletes is once we have that vision, if it's, I wanna be an all-star, I wanna be a multi-million-dollar player, whatever it is, we look at them and say, okay, great, so you don't wanna do this right now. Is that taking a step toward or away from being that multi-million-dollar player? Is that a step toward or away from making the NBA? Is that a step toward or away from being an all-star? Regardless of what it is, you have to start thinking in terms of consequences. You have to ask yourself, how is this gonna cost me in the long run if I don't take action on this? I know it might seem like, well, it's one recovery session, but let me tell you the truth. One off recovery session that you missed that you know you should do, that can really impact you in the course of a week. That can set you back then in the course of a month, and that can set you back in the course of a year. It really does stack up like that, but as athletes, we often don't look at it that way. So if you want to build this resilience and you want to build this discipline, you really need to start thinking in terms of consequences. You need to ask yourself, how is this going to cost me if I don't take action? And what am I going to gain out of it if I do? It's like anybody that goes to the gym that doesn't want to. I'm not going to be able to get in shape for preseason if that's the case, if you're in an off season. And if I do go to the gym, I know I'm going to feel good. Attach onto those on the days that you don't want to do it and think in terms of consequences to build that discipline. Number 4, you need to discover your strengths or what we call your resilience system. See, here's the thing. The most resilient athletes in the world, the ones that are able to adapt no matter what, they have a system of 3 strengths that they know are there in front of them that they can fall back on when the going gets tough. You hear this all the time, right? When the going gets tough, go back to the basics. That's great. That's a great saying. And I'll say saying because a lot of people just say it, they don't actually do it. And you need these. And I'm telling you, from working with over 5,300 high-performing individuals that are resilient, that are finding ways to adapt, that are all-stars and championship winners and so on, they have a system of strengths. 3 strengths. 3 things that make them special on the court, field, ice, whatever it is. And you need to find them as well if you're going to be this resilient individual. Because here's the truth. When you do go to new teams, when you do go to, different levels or whatever, coaches might ask you to do some different things. They might ask you to play a specialty role in some ways, right? Some ways that you're not really used to doing it. But if you have those strengths, for example, if you know that you're good with speed, scoring, and making sure that you're a good passer, those are your 3 strengths, and they ask you to play a little bit more of an aggressive defensive role, you know that you can take the time to adapt to that role while falling back on those strengths still. That way your performances don't go right out the window. And this is what happens with athletes who we work with when sometimes they first come to us and they're looking into it where it's like, oh my God, I'm on a new team. I'm not playing the role I'm used to. What do? It's like, well, what were your strengths? It's like, well, I was good at, scoring, speed, and passing. It's like, great. How do we work that into your current role while also still adapting to it? That right there and falling back on those strengths is a game changer. And look at some of the best athletes in the world, the greats, the Kobe Bryants, Michael Jordans, the Sidney Crosbys, Tom Brady's, all these great athletes. They have those three things they do really well, right? It's basic stuff, but it allows them to perform at extreme levels. And as somebody who's trying to be resilient, you have to understand that you need consistency in your game. And that consistency comes from understanding what you're good at and sticking to it, not changing things all the time. That's not what the best in the world do. They find that system and stick to it. And finally, number 5, you need to develop what we call a quote-unquote confidence drug. So what is this? Let's start by saying a confidence drug is simply understanding when you go perform these skills and work on these skills and sharpen these specific skills we're about to discover now, it's like a drug for confidence, right? You get an immediate boost to that confidence. So what do I mean by this? If you look at some of the best athletes in the world, they all have those maybe 1, 2, or maximum 3 things they work on at a daily basis, right? So it could be as basic as just shooting. It could be as basic as passing. It could be as basic as, puck handling if you're a hockey player, whatever it is. Dribbling if you're a basketball player. Keep-ups if you're a soccer player. But they have those basic 1 to 3 things. They just keep sharp so they feel consistently confident. And this is what you have to start wrapping your head around. When you get to the top levels, right now I know it's about getting better and developing and so on, totally. But you have to understand when it comes to a season and when it comes to performing, it's a matter of keeping yourself confident. That's the goal here. That's what we see the best of the best doing. They're not working to always develop a skill all the time and whatever. They're working to stay sharp. So you have to understand what those 1, 2, or 3 things that you do to stay sharp are, and you need to work on them daily for at least 5 minutes each, and it's basic, simple work. So I'll give you an example. When I used to be a goalkeeper in soccer, my big focus was I did 15 minutes of work a day on the following 3 things. Number 1 was my back passes. If I got back passes and was able to pass them out, I felt confident. Number 2, collecting crosses. If I was getting some crosses coming in, going up and catching them, throwing them out, I felt confident. And the final one were just some basic shots for 5 minutes. Right at my hands, on the ground, below me, to the left, right, whatever. But just doing those 3 things daily, not intense, nothing crazy, but just to keep the skills sharp, immediately injected me with confidence the moment I started doing that. Carve out those 15 minutes, understand what those 3 things are, and work these consistently. Okay, so let's summarize this all. These are the first 5 things you need to start, and make sure that as you go through these, you're actually writing them down and doing the discovery work for them. We'll put some questions below that you can answer, and you can make sure to get these done. Number 1, you need to have a vision of who you want to be, and you need to commit to that. You need to say right here in this video, right here, right now with me, Matt, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm committing to. I'm gonna find a way or make one until I get that. Who do you want to be? Not just what you want. Who do you want to be? Because if you become that person, you'll be able to get it and you'll be attracting success by building skills. Number 2, why do you want that? Discover your purpose. What is it really that makes you want that? What is it that really moves you about that? What makes you feel a certain way? Why are you doing what you're doing? Is it for the legacy? Is it for family? Is it for you? Is it to build some kind of future? What is it? Why do you want to do that? Number 3, think in terms of consequences to build your discipline. Understand again, what pain are you going to experience if you don't take action, and what pleasure are you going to experience if you do take action? Understanding these things will allow you, and thinking in terms of these consequences will allow you to push yourself even on days that you don't feel like it, even on days that your motivation doesn't do it for you, even on days that when you're thinking about your vision, it doesn't work. Discipline is everything, and that comes by thinking in terms of consequences. Number 4, discover those 3 strengths. Understand what 3 things make you special. I'm telling you, on their own, they won't do too much for you, but together, they allow you to be something special. And if you're somebody who's trying to get to that next level, you need to know what they are. The final part is to understand what is your confidence drug. What do you need to work on daily, consistently, just to keep sharp, to feel like you're confident going into performances. You know what they are, take the time, write them down and put them on here. Now, what I'll say is this, for the last 2 things I mentioned, you might have somebody who can help you with this. You might have a coach that you trust, a parent, a friend, a teammate, whatever, but sometimes it's easier for them to recognize it in you than it is for you to recognize it in yourself, because some of us do lack that self-awareness, and that's okay. You'll develop that as you keep going, but you have to try to understand what those strengths are, and then if you want to validate it, go for it. And there you go. There's the first 5 things that you need to do to build your resilience. Master it this week. Start with these, get really reflective on it, and then next week we'll have the part 2. Now, if you got something out of this video, please like, subscribe, click the notification bell, share it. I'm telling you, it helps this channel grow, and more importantly, it will allow us to keep bringing you more free content. And if you do want to work with us, there's links down below. You can apply to work with us in a one-on-one setting if you want for some coaching. You can also see what our Molliteum Pocket Coach is like. It's down below. And finally, you also can get access to our Molliteum Insider. It's our weekly newsletter that goes out, has reminders like this, different things that you can do, and more importantly, ways to train your resilience for free. So everything's down below. Stay resilient, and we'll see you all in the next one. So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the full podcast episode, click right here.